Continuation of the original text, expansion with depth and engagement. Your birthday as a mirror, what your relationship with this date reveals about you. Have you ever stopped to think that the way we deal with our own birthday is an emotional map? It's not just about cake or gifts, it's about how we view time, other people's attention, and even our own existence. Some people turn the date into a carnival of celebration. Others, on an ordinary day, like changing a burnt-out light bulb. But what if I told you that this letting go could actually be one of the most courageous acts of self-knowledge there is? 1. Birthday as a reality check. Imagine that every year, the universe hits a pause button and asks, so, how are you living? For those who celebrate with euphoria, the answer is easy. Great, look how many people love me. But for those who miss it, the question hurts a little more because the answer isn't in others, it's within. The paradox of detachment. Those who ignore the birthday are often not avoiding the party, but the question. After all, it's easier to say I don't care about that than to face, am I living the way I want? Do the people who matter really see me? Silence, in this case, is a scream. The emotional mathematics behind. If you've ever felt like every candle you blew was an unfulfilled goal, you understand. The birthday becomes an existential audit. I'm 30 years old and I still don't. My parents were my age and already. For some, blowing out the candles is turning off the clock, even for a day. 2. The science behind not calling, and why it can be a superpower. Studies in psychology show that people who downplay holidays often have less dependence on external validation, a trait of resilience. Greater tolerance to loneliness, not to be confused with isolation. A more mature relationship with time, they see life as a process, not as milestones. But be careful, this is not a rule. There are those who use detachment as armor. I don't care about birthdays could be code for I don't want anyone to notice I'm alone, or if I don't celebrate, I won't miss those who don't remember. The definitive test. Ask yourself, if everyone I love forgot my birthday tomorrow, would I feel relieved? You really don't care. Injured. Your detachment is a facade. Indifferent. Congratulations, you are a modern stoic, or you are in denial, but that is a topic for another text. 3. Birthday as a ritual of reinvention, even if you don't know it. Here's an uncomfortable truth, even those who say they don't care about birthdays, do. Not because of the date itself, but because of what it represents, an invisible turning point. The power of silent birthdays. Those who don't celebrate often do an internal ritual. Revisit memories, even if painful. Make plans, even if only mentally. If permissions, e.g. this year, I'm going to stop blaming myself for X. It's as if the subconscious is saying, if no one is going to celebrate my life, I'll celebrate it alone in my own way. Rebellion as a form of celebration. In a culture that idolizes visibility, social media, parties, public happy birthdays, ignoring a birthday can be a political act. It's saying, my life is not performance. My milestones are mine. And that, my friend, is pure freedom. 4. When detachment became a problem, and how to tell the difference. Not all not calling is healthy. Warning signs. Warning sign: avoid any mention of the date, even innocent jokes irritate you. Warning sign: feeling angry when someone reminds you, as if they were invading your space. Warning sign: associating birthdays with traumas, e.g. my parents fought when I was 10 years old. In these cases, detachment is not a choice, it is survival. And the good news? You can rewrite this story. Practical exercise, if you want to try. 1. Write down 3 birthday memories, good or bad. 2. Circle a word that you define. Any each one. 3. Now ask, do these words still define me today? If so, it's time to break the pattern. If not, congratulations, you have already evolved. 5. Birthday as a metaphor for life. What really matters? In the end, the birthday is just a mirror. He reflects. How do you deal with love? Do you accept or reject affection? How do you view time, fear of getting old or gratitude for living? How do you position yourself in the world? Do you need an audience or is it enough for yourself? The great irony. Those who party the most are often looking to fill a void. Those who ignore it most have often found inner fulfillment. And you? What is your relationship with that date? You use it as a lighthouse, to remember where you came from, a burden, to carry expectations, a ghost, that you prefer not to face? The answer does not need to be public. But asking this question is already a gift. To reflect and share. Small Blue Diamond, if you could erase one birthday memory and replace it with another, what would it be? Small Blue Diamond, what would you say to the you of 10 years ago on your birthday? Small Blue Diamond, if today was your last birthday, what would you do differently? Leave them in the comments or keep these answers to yourself. The important thing is that they exist. The true gift that no party can give. The day you were born, the universe bet on you. Not for a day, not for 10 years, but forever. And if today you don't feel like celebrating, that's okay. But don't confuse indifference with ingratitude. Because deep down, the greatest birthday is not that of your birth, but that of the person you have become. And this deserves to be celebrated even if in silence. If this text made you rethink your relationship with birthdays, or with life, share it with those who need to read it. And if you want more reflections like this, turn on notifications, because the next one could be about something you didn't even know you needed to question. See you soon. And happy existence. Seedling. The birthday nobody sees, but that changed everything. There is a type of birthday that no one marks on the calendar. There's no cake, no congratulations, no photos on Instagram. It's the anniversary of small deaths, those moments when one version of you died so that another could be born. The date you stopped waiting for someone. The day you stopped blaming yourself for something that wasn't your fault. The exact time when you understood that self-love is not selfishness. These birthdays don't come with party favors. They come with scars that itch less, with deeper breaths, with that internal silence that was previously occupied by screams. And the irony? They are the only ones who really matter. To reflect, and keep in your heart. Small Blue Diamond, what was the last little death you celebrated without realizing it? Small Blue Diamond, if you could erase a guilt you've been carrying for years, what would it be and what would be born in its place? Small Blue Diamond, what would you put aside today so that tomorrow would be the birthday of a freer version of you? Leave it in the comments, or write it down on paper and bury it in the backyard. The important thing is that the earth knows. The happy birthday paradox. We grow up hearing that a birthday is synonymous with mandatory happiness. Smile for the photo. Place an order. Thank you for the congratulations. But what if, right this second, you are grieving? Not because of someone's death, but because of the death of a dream, a relationship, an identity that no longer serves any purpose. In these cases, happy birthday comes across as crude irony. How can we celebrate time if it only brought losses? The answer lies not in feigning joy, but in recognizing that mourning is also a type of celebration, honoring what was important enough to hurt when it's over. And if today you don't even have the strength to light a candle, that's okay. Sometimes the best celebration is to lie down on the floor and let the ground hold you. The secret math of birthdays. Do the math. Subtract the people who disappeared. Divide disappointments by the number of times you bounce back. You. Multiply the real laughs by the seconds you felt whole. The result is not your age. It is the density of your existence. What if the number is negative? Don't worry. Life, like a good equation, always has a factor that you forgot to include, the part that is yet to come. The gift you forgot to open. Every birthday comes with an invisible gift, permission to reinvent. It's not about changing your look or job, although it can be. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not who I was yesterday. And that's not betrayal, that's evolution. The fear of change is understandable. After all, each new version of you kills a little of the old one, and grief hurts. But think of it this way, if a tree were afraid of losing its leaves, it would never see spring. Today, which leaf are you ready to release? For those who don't want to celebrate, and don't need excuses. If you are one of those who turns off your cell phone on your birthday, no, you are not antisocial. You are selective with your energy. And in a world that confuses noise with importance, that's a superpower. Maybe you prefer to celebrate alone, rereading old letters, or listening to that song that only you understand. Maybe your ritual is silent, a hot coffee, an aimless walk, or simply letting the day pass without rushing. Because sometimes, the best gift is not having to perform happiness. The only question that matters today. It's not how old are you, but how many times have you been reborn inside them? And if the answer is none, don't despair. Birthdays aren't about the past. They're about the next second, which, coincidentally, is starting now. To carry, or not to carry anything. If this text made you take a deep breath, cry a little or smile for no reason, do the following. 1. Keep a copy, somewhere only you know. 2. Share with those who need it, even if it's just a "Hey, I read this and thought of you." 3. Write your own version, in a notebook, on a napkin, on the bathroom wall. And if today is your birthday, or not, happy existence. Not by the date, but by each micro-revolution you fought to be here, now, reading these words. Until next time. Or, as the universe would say, until you decide we meet again, Milky Way. P.S. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This means that, on some level, you chose to care about yourself, about questions, about life. And in a world full of distractions, this is already a party. Party popper. The silence that speaks loudest. Have you ever noticed how some people carry their birthday as a secret? It's not that they forget the date, it's there, marked on the calendar like a shadow. It's not that they don't want to celebrate, it's just that, for them, celebrating is a verb that doesn't need a party. And if you've ever felt this way, no, this is not indifference. It's its own language. Imagine that the birthday is a door. Some open it with fanfare, balloons, and chorus of congratulations. Others, they opened that door a long time ago, entered, and now they prefer to remain in the silence of the room, observing the walls that they painted over the years. It's not loneliness. It's intimacy with yourself. The invisible mathematics of the years. They say age is just a number. But what if it's an equation? X equals the years you lived. Y equals the versions of yourself that you buried along the way. Z equals people who thought they would never leave, and they did. W equals the scars that, against all odds, became constellations. X is not equal to Y plus Z plus W. Because life is not an addition, it is a wise subtraction. You take away what is useless, what weighs you down, what lies. And in the end, what remains is not a number. It's a map. One of those hand-drawn ones, with erasures, arrows pointing to places only you know. The gift you didn't ask for, but deserve. If today is your birthday and you are reading this alone, congratulations. Not because of the date, but because of the courage not to fill the void with noise. If today is not. It's your birthday and you're here anyway, congratulations too. Because that means you understand, dates are just excuses to remember what really matters. And what matters doesn't fit in a cake, nor in a post, nor in 24 hours. It fits in that pause between one sigh and another, when you look back and think, I can handle it. I change. I am reborn. Even if no one sees. To keep in your pocket, or in your heart. 1. If today is just any day for you, don't justify yourself. The world already has too much noise. Your silence is an act of resistance. 2. If today is a heavy day, remember, the best trees grow where no one is looking. 3. If today is a day of gratitude, thank the versions of you who didn't give up, especially the one who, a year ago, didn't know would make it this far. The only thing that really matters today. It's not how old you are. That's how many times you saved yourself. How many early mornings have you held your own hand? How many times did you choose to start over instead of giving up? How many no's have you turned into not yet? How many times has self-love been your only hostage and you rescued it, even when you were injured? This is not a birthday. This is art. To close, or not to close anything. If you've made it this far, thank you. Not because of the time you spent reading, but because of the confidence of letting these words sink in. And if today, whether it's your birthday or not, you feel alone, remember, there's a version of you in the future who's rooting for you right now. She knows you will get there. And she's not wrong. Until next time. Or, as time would say, until you decide it's time for us to meet again. Seedling. P.S. If this text made you take a deep breath, smile to yourself, or remember something you had forgotten, do this. Keep a copy, on your cell phone, in a notebook, in memory. Tell someone who needs to hear that existing is already courage. Write your own version, even if it's just a word on a napkin. Because the best stories are not the ones we read. They are the ones that we live, cry and, in the end, tell ourselves in the mirror. What if I told you that you have already saved more lives than you know? I'm not talking about heroism with capes or grand gestures. I'm talking about the times you held someone's hand without touching, just by existing. Of the early mornings when your breathing was the only sound in the room, and yet, you chose to stay. From the days when the world asked you to give up, and you, stubbornly, repeated the silent mantra, "Not yet." You were once the lighthouse that didn't blink for someone lost in the sea of their own mind. It was once the blank page that gave permission for someone else to start writing their story again. It was once the mirror that didn't lie, even when the image hurt. And the most incredible thing, you did all this without even realizing it. The invisible mathematics of your existence. Think about the numbers that no one calculates. How many times was your smile even forced the rope that kept someone from sinking? How many messages did you respond to with "I'm here" that saved someone else's night of loneliness? How many times have you not spoken your mind to avoid breaking a heart, and that, paradoxically, made someone stronger? We think that saving is something for firefighters, doctors, superheroes. But the life most saved by his presence may have been his own. Every time you rejected the despair script and invented a different ending, you were rescuing futures. Yours. The one who loves you. That of those who will still know you. What no one told you about resisting. Resistance is not just about weathering the storm. It's learning to dance in the rain when your umbrella has a hole. It's cooking a new dish with the remains of what's left. It's laughing at the absurdity when life seems like a poorly written reality show. And you know what's craziest? You are already a master at this. You've already turned pain into art, even if that art was just a post-it on the mirror, "Tomorrow I'll try again." Have you ever negotiated with fear like a diplomat? "Okay, you can stay, but you won't stay. Give it to me." You have already invented hope in homeopathic doses, when the world only offered skepticism in 1 kilogram boxes. This is not survival. This is alchemy. The truth that hurts, and frees, about your failures. You've already blamed yourself for not being what you expected. For not having the dream career, the perfect love, the ideal body. But what if I told you that his biggest failures were actually rescues in disguise? That opportunity you missed. He spared you from a path that wasn't yours. That love that didn't work out. It taught you not to accept crumbs when you deserve feasts. Those years that you called lost. They were the fertilizer for the version of you that is sprouting now. You didn't fail. You edited. And every good story needs cuts to be epic. The legacy you are already leaving, without knowing it. Do you think your life is small? Your existence is a shockwave. Someone, somewhere, remembers something you said years ago and uses it as a mantra. Someone looks at you and thinks, "If she can do it, so can I." Someone keeps a screenshot of a message from you as a charm against bad days. You are an entry in someone's dictionary of resistance. An uncredited chapter in someone else's biography. A sigh of relief that someone lets out when they remember they are not alone. And the most beautiful, you have no idea who these people are. Because the magic of saving lives, especially yours, is that it happens in the anonymity of everyday life. To close, or not close at all, because good stories don't have an ending. If you feel small today, remember. Trees take decades to provide shade, but no one calls a redwood slow. Stars explode in supernovae, but before that, they spend eons burning in silence. You've saved more things than you can count. Including yourself. And if no one has thanked you yet, I thank you. For existing. For insisting. Because it's proof that even in the darkest nights, someone turns on a light, even if it's just the stubbornness of a soul that refuses to turn it off. P.S. Do this now. 1. Write down one thing you saved today, even if it was just your own patience. 2. Send this text to someone who needs to remember that existing is an act of courage. 3. Look in the mirror and say, I've saved more than I see. And this is just the beginning. Because the best stories are not the ones we read. They are the ones we live, cry, cross out, rewrite, and, in the end, tell ourselves with pride. Fire Your Life is already a masterpiece. Now just sign.